back in Baltimore. Game 1 of this American League Wild Card Series. The starting lineups are brought to you by Cologuard. Get more information at Cologuard.com. We mentioned the Royals' struggles to hit down the stretch, in large part because they were without Vinny Pasquantino. Royals fans will be delighted as they look at this lineup to see that he is back in the lineup for the first time since late August, recovering from thumb surgery. They're 2, 3, and 4 with Junior, Pasquantino, and Perez as good as any in baseball. When they are healthy, they'll take their swings against the 29-year-old right-hander from California, Corbin Burnes.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Burnes has been outstanding, making his 33rd start of the year. Career high wins, 15. You see where that's at, the ERA, 7th best in Major League Baseball. He's done some little bit of tweaking to his arsenal, so he's thrown a little bit of sweeper here in the month of September, but the cutter is still the best pitch for Corbin Burnes.
First year in Baltimore, they brought him over in February from Milwaukee in a big trade to be their ace. This is what they had in mind, starting game 1 of the postseason. He's ready to go, and this series is underway. With a fastball just above the knees for strike 1 to Michael Massey, the second baseman. The .259 regular season, not ordinarily at the top of the order. They've been struggling to find the right guy there. He bloops one to left, and that's going to fall in for a hit in front of Colton Cowser. And here comes Bobby Witt Jr. Most years the numbers just showed you would be MVP caliber. He's certainly going to be in the top 5, maybe even number 2. Most expect that Aaron Judge is going to win it. Led the majors in batting average and in hits with 211. The most by a shortstop since Derek Jeter at 216 back in 2012. 66 degrees at game time under cloudy skies. There is the chance of more rain, and that's a foul ball off to the right.
He's talking to him right before the game. He's like, I'm going to sit on that cutter away. I know Corbin Burnes and how he's going to attack me, and he did just that. He got one low and away and it fouling off, but that was the plan. I'm going to look for that pitch away.
Well, one of the big storylines of this one is the Royals stealing bases. That's what they like to do. 11th most stolen bases, and Corbin Burnes gives up 41 of them on the year, so that's something to watch.
That was more than any pitcher in Major League Baseball. He has done better in September, holding runners on, shortening his delivery, holding the ball longer. The Royals do have 3 in their lineup, including Witt Jr., who've stolen at least 30. Massey back to first. He's not much of a threat to run with just 1 stolen base.
Yeah, Corbin Burnes likes that big high leg kick, and then early in the year he did not want to give that up. He felt like it hurt a little bit what he was doing at home plate, so now he's going a little bit more of a slide step, and he's been efficient with it so far in September.
Held the ball there. Witt pops it up behind first base. The second baseman Jordan Westberg makes a running catch right along the right field foul line, and here comes Vinny Pasquantino. Royals fans delighted to see him, and we're delighted to welcome in Jeff Passan.
Sean, nobody in the Royals organization thought Vinny Pasquantino was going to be here. On August 29th, a collision at first base broke the thumb on his right hand, and yet the rehabilitation after surgery has gone well. And on Saturday, when he hit an upper deck home run in live batting practice, the Royals knew he was going to be ready for this wild card series.
They thought he'd be out 6 to 8 weeks. He takes a strike. But he told people, I'll be back before the end of the year. Most thought that meant they would have to win a round or 2 to see him. Still plates and screws in his thumb. And he drives one to center. Cedric Mullins is under it and makes the catch. So 2 down, 7 pitches so far from Burnes, and all of them have been strikes. And he's working now to Salvador Perez, who drove in 104 in the regular season, second most in his career. Had Pasquantino not gotten injured and missed the last month plus, their second, third, and fourth hitters all would have driven in more than 100 runs. With Pasquantino and Perez, Salvi took a knee-high strike. The home plate umpire is Ryan Addison. And congratulations to this umpiring crew of 6 selected for their outstanding performances during the regular season. Hit hard down to third, and a nice play on one hop by Ramon Urias. He threw to second to Jordan Westberg for the out that ends the inning after a half inning. Kansas City nothing. The Orioles coming up after a beautiful play at the hot corner. Here's today's starting lineup for the Orioles, brought to you by Cologuard. See more information at Cologuard.com. They're a power hitting team, 235 home runs, second in the majors, 2 behind the Yankees, and it starts right at the top with Gunnar Henderson's 37 bombs. Anthony Santander hit 44. And they do have Cedric Mullins in center field to start, even though he's a left-handed batter, against the lefty Cole Reagans, making his postseason debut today for Kansas City.
Yeah, 5-pitch mix for Reagans. Fastball is going to be 94 to 98 miles an hour. The changeup is elite. 48% swing and miss on the changeup. That is the second best swing and miss pitch in all of baseball. They'll show you a couple breaking balls and that knuckle curve as well.
You had Henderson losing the bat on his first swing of the day. Here's a look at StatCast, powered by Google Cloud.
Yeah, you can see where he wants the fastball. It's a high spin rate fastball, meaning it stays on plane really well. So he wants it at the top of the zone. There's a lot of changeups behind that. Slider, knuckle, curve as well, and sometimes a cut fastball.
He's 26 years old. Came over in a trade from Texas at the deadline last year. He throws a strike on the outside corner to Henderson. We had a 281 regular season. His 37 homers were 6th in the American League overall, led all major league shortstops. He drove in 92, stole 21 bases. And he takes the ball low and away.
Yeah, big improvements for Gunnar Henderson year to year, lefty versus lefty. Last year he only hit 209 against left-handers. This year 257. So that's what you want to see from your young players, is improvements.
Reagans pitches a foul ball right back at us.
Cole early on, he starts on that third base side of the rubber, but not afraid to go up and into these lefties. Gunnar, we saw him lose the bat on the first swing. 97 in on the hands.
And a foul ball out of play to the left.
And that's how Reagans wants to attack, right? He wants to speed your bat up by throwing that high velocity fastball on the inside part of the plate to get to his best swing and miss pitch, which is that changeup.
And a pop-up, shallow right field. Michael Massey, the second baseman. 1 out.
Second baseman number 11.
Reagans, a first-round pick of Texas. The 30th player taken overall in 2016. That trade at the deadline last year worked out well for both teams. It gave Kansas City frontline starters they were aiming toward the future, which is now. And Aroldis Chapman went to Texas and helped the Rangers win a World Series, their first. Strike one taken by Jordan Westberg, one of several key Oriole players who was injured for much of the year. He returned late. 264 batting average. Changeup miss.
When you talk about Jordan Westberg, you talk about the heartbeat of this Oriole team. I mean, Gunnar Henderson deserves a lot of credit. Adley Rutschman, Santander with 44 home runs, but this kid right here is the heartbeat. And when he got hurt, that's when the Oriole offense started to go a little bit south.
Swing and a miss. Yeah. Midway point of the season, Brandon Hyde's team was second in all of baseball, in one-loss record behind just the Phillies, but they were a 500 team after the All-Star break, in large part due to injuries. But Ben, you've been here for a long time. I guess it's an indication of how things have changed the last couple of years, when 91 wins seemed like a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah,
when they won 101 last
That's
year.
right. You're coming off 101, but it's been, you mentioned, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It's been about the injuries for the Orioles. I mean, when you had pretty much your whole infield out at one point in time, and you're still missing 3 of your everyday starters, it's tough.
Strike 3 called. Reagans got the call on a borderline pitch on the inside corner.
run. That's what Cole Reagans will do to you. He'll get ahead of you, and he will use that heater, and it's high velocity. Look where Salvi sets up, right on the inside part. I'm going to tell you what, you can't throw one any better than that. That's 97 right on the inside part of the plate. And that's what I'm watching early for both these pitchers. I want to see where the catcher sets the glove and how close these pitchers are to come to hitting that glove.
And now a high strike called on Anthony Santander, got the crowd groaning.
Reagan's is going to get in off the plate, called a strike, now up in the zone.
Fun day to pitch. Ben wants to go back out there. Foul ball back here by Santander. 44 home runs. And really, in many ways, another guy, Ben, a leader on this team.
No doubt. I mean, look, Santander's been through everything with the Orioles over the years. He saw the rebuild through, and now he's benefiting and being a big part of it. And nobody thought he was going to have 44 home runs this year, although he's hit a 30 over a couple of times in his career, but he's had a monster year.
His 44 homers, fourth most in Major League Baseball history by a switch hitter, and the most since 2006 when Lance Berkman hit 45. Good time to do it. He's a free agent at the end of this season. No score, we're just underway. These two teams met 6 times in the regular season. The Orioles won 4, but to many that seems meaningless. All those games were back in April. A lot has changed since. Pop up right back over our heads behind home plate.
Yeah, Cole Reagan's 2 starts against the Orioles, and as you mentioned, both of them came in the month of April. The first one here in Baltimore was outstanding. He went 6 1/3, only allowed 1 hit, did not allow runs. But just 3 weeks later in Kansas City, the Orioles put the worst start of the season on him, gave him 7 earned runs in just an inning and 2/3.
Check swing. They appealed down to first, and Ben May said it was not a strike. Nick Lentz is the second base umpire. Bill Miller, the crew chief, at third.
Did he go?
No, he held. Good call.
And a pop fly very high near the right field line. Massey again in fair territory. And the Orioles go in order in the first. After one in Baltimore in this AL wildcard series. No score. Hill fans in the future, they believe, is bright too. It is a young team. 6 of their best players, all 26 years old or younger among the position players, all on this Orioles postseason roster.
Yeah, all drafted, all developed by the Orioles, and that's kind of how the Orioles have done it. They have done it within by draft and developing. The Royals a little bit differently this year, right? I mean, a lot of free agent pickups, a lot of trade acquisitions in the offseason. Matter of fact, the Royals only 7 players from the 2023 team that started the 2024 team, so it's pretty much a new team with a really good core to get.
Corbin Burns still hasn't thrown a ball. Retired the side in order. Excuse me, we gave up 1 bloop hit and then got 3 in a row, but threw 9 strikes, and now he's thrown 11 strikes as it's sliced out of play by Yuli Gurriel, one of several veterans they picked up right after Vinny Pasquantino suffered that fractured thumb. Played in just 18 games in the regular season, but a lot of playoff experience. He takes a breaking ball from Burns outside.
Yeah, for me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying 8 consecutive postseasons. I mean, to me, that Yuli Gurriel, the experience that he brings to a team that does not have a lot of it.
Checks his swing at a ball low and away.
I was going to say the key for Corbin Burns is this one, and I think the Royals did a great job of attacking him. Corbin Burns gave up 9 hits his first start against the Royals this year, and the reason is they got their toes up on the plate and they look for the ball moving away from the right-handers, because that's where Corbin Burns is going to throw the majority of his pitches. Now, nobody's going to hit that one right there. I don't care what you're looking for. When it disappears like that, you got no chance.
That was pretty nasty. First strikeout of the day for Burns.
I mean, watch this thing. It starts on the corner. Anything turned like that ought to have a blinker on it. I mean, it just exploded going right to left. But I think Corbin Burns is going to have to use that 2-seam fastball that he has on the inside part of the plate, the right-handers, just to keep him honest enough to be able to get to those good breaking balls on the outside part.
MJ Melendez takes a soft one outside. He's their left fielder. Hit just 206, just 44 runs batted in, but he had some big hits during their regular season. The average certainly a disappointment. He took a breaking ball outside. miss, a late swing. Melendez with Tommy Pham on deck. And swing and a miss.
I mean, it is precision right now for Corbin Burns. Seems like wherever James McCann is putting that glove, that's where the ball is ending up.
In the air and centered, pretty well hit. Cedric Mullins drifts back just shy of the warning track to make the catch. 2 down in the Royals' second, no score. Eligible Capital One Rewards card holders, you can redeem your rewards for tickets to the MLB postseason on Capital One Entertainment. Visit CapitalOne.com/entertainment for more information. There's Tommy Pham, another late season acquisition by the Royals. And he nubs one foul off the end of the bat. He has played for the White Sox and St. Louis in addition to the Royals this year. They brought over Paul DeJong from the White Sox in late July. Grossman, Gurriel, and Pham joined Matt Quintero's team right after Pasquantino got hurt. You talk about the roster construction. It used to be the Royals were one of those teams, okay, we're going to build up like they did in 2014 and 15, take our shot, realize we can't keep most of our good players, and rebuild again. Well, this year it's a kind of a combination of both. They did go out and add some veterans. There's a pop-up by Pham. Westberg on the outfield grass. A 1-2-3 second for Burns. No score. We're in the middle of the second in Baltimore. Rolling coming into the postseason. Ryan Mountcastle, broken bat, a little flare, shallow right, and a nice play by Tommy Pham. Sliding backhanded catch to take a hit away from Mountcastle.
It's all about the read on this too, because it's a big swing, but once it's off the end of the bat, you see the bat split. You see Tommy Pham in the read. We talked about his postseason experience, but his understanding of the read on this little slide to end it.
Yeah, the outfield's going to be a little bit wet. Now, we had some rain and moisture, so you wonder how aggressive the third base coaches are going to be with base hits and runners in scoring position. You got to feel they're going to have a windmill going over there. They're going to make their outfielders throw them out with the grass being a little bit wet out there.
Adley Rutschman took a strike. He's the DH today. There's a strike. It's 1-1. James McCann catching today. Tale of two seasons for Rutschman. He had a nice first half. He really scuffled down the stretch. When we visited with Brandon Hyde before the game, he said he saw some good at-bats at the end of the season that leads to some encouragement.
Yeah, when you see line drives, opposite field, and you look at the numbers this season, to your point, Sean, I mean, just through June, the numbers since scuffled, especially the back half of the season, but you're right, the last week had a few hits showing what we saw early on in his career.
Swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. Perez throws down to first to get Rutschman. 5 up and 5 down for Baltimore, and Cole Reagans is fan 2.
Yeah, he can rack up the strikeouts. We talked about it, 223 of them on the year. That's a really good slider. See where it starts and where it ends. With 2 strikes, that's where all pitchers are trying to get there. Trying to get where the ball starts in the zone and ends up out of the zone, and Cole Reagans is very good at doing that.
223 strikeouts in the regular season. Well hit in the hole, base hit for Colton Cowser. And he's the first base runner for Baltimore, leading contender to be the American League Rookie of the Year.
And this is one of the things that Colton Cowser does so well too. You're going to see the flat swing and honestly the pitch location. I mean, this is a pitcher's pitch left a little bit up in the zone, but Cowser takes advantage off the end of the bat. This is the first hit we've seen hit harder and being able to find a hole through that right side. O's got a base runner.
And first ball swinging, Ramon Urias, high fly, shallow left. MJ Melendez made the catch. And that's it for Baltimore in the second. No score through 2.
Don't want to miss a postseason game? Just tell Siri. Show me the upcoming MLB schedule.
Yes, sir. Wild card action continues tonight, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN. The Padres and the Braves in game one. How about the Braves make the trip out to San Diego happily after they split yesterday's doubleheader against the Mets in Atlanta. Both Braves and Mets made the postseason. Arizona did not make it. Corbin Burns missed outside with a breaking ball to Kyle Isbell, the center fielder. And number 8 hitter in the Kansas City lineup today, Jordan Westburn's been busy at second base. He throws him out.
We love home internet from T-Mobile. Oh, now Mesh boosts Wi-Fi all over your home.
For a limited time, get a free upgrade to Home Internet Plus. Just $50 a month.
Here's the number 9 hitter, Michael Garcia, who takes strike one from Corbin Burns.
Yeah, Garcia is one of those guys that Corbin Burns wants to keep off base. 37 stolen bases on the year. And that's where the speed comes from. 9-hole and a 2-hole for the Royals.
Line to center. Mullins came charging in. 2 down.
This is pretty fun to see two offenses that are aggressive. I mean, in this day and age, you're used to all the takes, but we've seen first pitch swinging. A lot of aggressive swings, and honestly, this pitcher's allowed to be very efficient.
But I think that's what happens, right? When you know that you got guys with real stuff, you got dudes on the mound with real stuff, you don't want to get in those 2-strike counts. And so I think you know that both pitchers are going to throw a lot of strikes. And so as a hitter, you want to go up there and you want to be aggressive, you know.
And the Royals in particular go up there swinging. Michael Massey, the only Royal to reach base so far against Burns. He had a bloop hit to start the game. Corbin's set down 8 in a row since. That's well struck, but hooking down the right field line foul. Malachi Moore is the right field line umpire today, and David Rackley down the left field line.
Michael Massey at the top of this lineup. By the way, Tommy Pham's usually been their leadoff hitter, but now getting Vinny back into this lineup, they're able to kind of move some things around. Massey, low K, low walk.
It was interesting. We spoke with Matt Cotrero about that. He said now with his regular lineup back, he tries to spread the power hitters out a little bit, and he likes Pham, who can be a productive hitter a little lower in the order to try to knock in those 2, 3, and 4 guys should they get on base. Wow, apparently it's off his foot because the ball stayed fair, and the crowd doesn't understand what happened. It was fielded in fair territory by Ryan Mountcastle.
This is really close right here. And the idea is where does the ball bounce over the bat, right?
Boy, it didn't hit him. Boy, no argument from the Orioles from our vantage point. Looked like it was right over the bag, but then again.
Ball's got a lot of English on it. Watch it start to come back a little bit. See that last hop right there as it begins to come back, but it's just foul.
It's a good thing the umpire has a better vantage point than we do. Although ours is great at this beautiful ballpark. 2-2 pitch. That one's definitely fair. Westburn again. Another 1-2-3 inning. These pitchers rolling into the playoffs, and they have picked it up right where they left off at the start of this postseason.
Phil's manager Brandon Hyde. Brandon, Corbin Burns as efficient as he can be through 3 innings. How advantageous is that for you to get him deep into games?
Love to get him deep into this game. I think he's throwing 7 balls to 30 strikes or so, and got the cutter working. He's getting a lot of, getting a lot of ground balls and pitching great.
At the same time, Cole Reagans has gotten off to a great start for Kansas City. What do you guys have to do to get to him?
We got to get in time with his fastball, which is tough because it's 97, 98 today, and he's kind of shoving it into our right-handers. He's got good secondary stuff too, so it looks like looks like when he pitches against us early in the year, that's how he looks.
Low-scoring game as expected. Thank you, Brandon. Sean, Ben, Jess, back to you.
All right, and a good move by Brandon Hyde to have Cedric Mullins in the starting lineup today. That was one of the questions entering the game. He's in there, and he just knocked one off the right field wall for a double.
Oh, we talked about aggressive swings. Another first pitch swing. Cedric Mullins gets the fastball he wants up in the zone. Anything that wasn't in on the hands, beautiful job of meeting that pitch. Just missed a home run. Finally, something hit hard in this game.
Yeah, only his third plate appearance against Cole Reagans. He walked his first 2 plate appearances and a base hit there.
Ball one up and away. The crowd into it now as the Orioles have their second base runner. Mullins, the first man on either team to reach scoring position for James McCann. Number 9 hitter, the backup catcher to Rutschman. He's had some big hits down the stretch for Baltimore. He swings through a changeup.
Yeah, last year the Orioles were the #1 hitting team in baseball with runners in scoring position. Not so much this year. They're coming in 17th. But if you look at their last 6 games, they're hitting .357. So they're certainly trending in the right direction with runners in scoring position.
It was the Royals who were a much improved team this year with runners in scoring position. Good breaking ball dropped in. That's a big reason why the Kansas City club had the 30-win improvement. Started with starting pitching much better. Their numbers with men on base and scoring position much better. The defense much better. The pitch is high. But 106 losses a year ago for Kansas City. That is the most in Major League Baseball history by a team that made the playoffs the next year. Matt Contreras said he wasn't surprised once it got to February and he knew what he had. Bounding ball foul down the left field line. He was very encouraged when they signed the veteran relief pitcher Will Smith, who'd been there before. He said, okay, who else are we signing? Who else are you going to go get to be my new teammate? They went out and added several other key components, particularly in this starting rotation. Breaking ball fouled away.
Yeah, when you talk about the starting rotation for the Royals, you talk about the second best starting rotation in all of Major League Baseball. That has been the big jump for them. Last year, the Royals were 27th out of 30 teams with their starting pitchers. This year, they go all the way to second. So that's been one of the big improvements that you're talking about.
Seth Lugo will pitch tomorrow. Michael Wacha has been excellent in the dirt on the 7th pitch of the at-bat for McCann.
Something to keep an eye on in this one. Cole Reagans, when he gets in a stretch position, he is not quite as good. .213 batting average overall. But I tell you what, runners in scoring position, how about this? Opponents are hitting .279 off Reagans with runners in scoring position.
Swing and a miss, and the bat went flying over by the Royals dugout. Hopefully everybody's okay over there.
Well, that's the second one of those we've seen today. Gunnar Henderson was the first one, and McCann, this is just that elevated 4-seam fastball. And that's where Cole Reagans' fastball is going to play the best. It's going to be 96 to 98, and it's going to be right towards the top of the zone.
Henderson rolls one down to first. Gurriel played it himself. 2 down, and on to third goes Mullins. There's Jordan Westberg, who struck out in the first inning. On the 3 strikeouts so far for Reagans. A drive to deep left. Melendez back on the warning track to make the catch. Back when Ben pitched here, that was long gone. But it's the 3rd year of this new configuration, and a very hard mark to hit one out to left. Still no score. We're in the 3rd. The Orioles currently have a 58% chance of winning based on win probability, according to ESPN Bet. Live odds have them at -140 to win. ESPN Bet, the official sportsbook of ESPN. New players can get their first bet on tonight's game insured up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Scan the QR code to download the app. Get started today. Corbin Burns throws a strike. That's almost redundant.
Kind of what he does, right?
And it was a cutter.
And yeah. Most of the outs so far today for Corbin Burns has been on the cutter. That's not a big surprise.
Facing Bobby Witt Jr. pops one up in foul ground. It's Burns, called off by Mountcastle near the Oriole dugout.
Well, Burns, he got over there quick.
I kind of love that.
Who says pitchers aren't athletes now? No, Burns, he kind of goes at his own pace, but when he's hunting out right here, watch Corbin Burns take off. I mean, he is wide open. He actually calls his ball, and Mountcastle says, no, big fella. Let the position players take care of that one.
I love that you describe athlete as just like he ran over there.
Yeah, got his sprint in for the day.
6'3", 245 pounds.
Yeah, he is a horse.
Here's Pasquantino. Up for the second time. And he takes a strike.
Yes, we're interesting to see if the Royals can find their groove offensively. They did not end the season the way they wanted to. 4-9 in their last 13 games, and they only scored 29 runs in those 13 games. So that's 2.2 runs per game. So offensively, they were not trending in the right direction when the postseason got here. Now, the good news for them, and the reason why they won a few ball games, is the pitching continues to be the strength, right? I mean, they only allowed 3 runs per game over their last 13, but the offense was a struggle.
Worst offense in baseball in the month of September.
And 202 in September. The ball, and a lot of that was the absence of Pasquantino. It completely changed their lineup. The last 2 weeks, to amplify Ben's point, they hit 186. They made the playoffs despite the fact they had 2 7-game losing streaks down the stretch starting in late August. Swing and a miss by Pasquantino. And of course, both the Royals and the Detroit Tigers, who finished tied in the wild card race and in the Central Division standings, benefited greatly from Minnesota's collapse. Swing and a foul. The reason the Royals are the higher seeded team is they won the season series head-to-head with Detroit. Swing and a miss. Pasquantino 0 for 2 in his return. Wear what the players are wearing on field during the postseason. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com for your favorite postseason team gear. Detroit wound up in Houston. They lost their last couple of games to the Chicago White Sox to change what the matchups would have been. Very high fly ball off the bat of Perez and pretty deep as well. But it's Death Valley out there. And the catch made by Cowser. Another 1-2-3 inning for Burns.
Welcome back to Camden Yards, here with Royals manager Matt Quatraro. Matt, we are scoreless still in this game. How vital is it that your defense continues to play well when you have 2 pitchers like Cole Reagans and Corbin Burns on the mound?
Yeah, I mean, there's no secret to good baseball pitching and defense. We saw a nice play by Tommy out there. You know, getting the deep fly ball there to run that down was nice, but these guys kind of what you expect with these 2 pitchers.
And when you see Cole Reagans pumping his fastball in there like that, Orioles having a difficult time catching up to it, what's going to be the keys for him as the game goes on?
Well, these guys are really good hitters, so it's going to have to be a mix. Can't get them out the same way all the time. Can't get too comfortable with using the same pitch over and over.
Still a scoreless game here in Baltimore. Thank you, Matt Quatraro. Sean, Ben, Jess, back to you.
All right, Jeff, thank you. 2-0 is the count on Anthony Santander as he leads off against Cole Reagans. Now 2-1. Santander popped out to end the first inning. Certainly, Matt Quatraro, a leading candidate to be the American League Manager of the Year. 30 wins improvement. Very impressive gentleman to speak with.
Yeah, I enjoyed our conversation with him. Very honest.
Yeah, you always love that when a manager is real and what the team was, you know, a year ago, and he had the t-shirt he was wearing with the simplicity of today, talking about that being the theme for now. And
yeah, it's about being in the moment, right? And being in the moment that you're in, not looking forward to tomorrow, that you can't do anything about the past. No sense dwelling on the past. It's about today and what we accomplished today.
Swing and a miss. high cutter. The Matt Quatrero wearing that T-shirt that said today, we asked him about it. He said that really goes back to last season. We were not having a good year. In August, I had a team meeting. Reagan's pitch is fouled out of play. So he got the team together. He said, hey, in the off season, some of you guys are going to change your swing, change your delivery, work on some pitches. Don't wait till the off season. Start today. Let's start aiming to be at our best next year right now. And he said, I didn't think it was going to stick, but the clubhouse manager made the T-shirts, and that's really become their motto. Just focus on today. Santander strikes out. Here's Jeff.
Cole Reagans, Sean, had back-to-back Tommy John surgeries. Very few pitchers come back from that. But last year, J.J. McCall, the Royals general manager, traded for Reagans and got him from Texas in May for Aroldis Chapman, believing that he could be a frontline starter. In October 2022, Reagans was trying to get better and went down to Tread Athletics and started working with a trainer named Tyler Zombro. He was throwing 94 miles per hour in pens and was angry. He wanted more velocity, and it's that kind of velocity that he's gotten through that hard work that you're seeing now with a fastball up to 98 and a changeup that's as nasty, Sean, as that one.
And to your point, Jeff, a lot of times 2 Tommy Johns would scare people away, but the Royals medical people really considered it 1 surgery, even though he had 2 procedures, because he never got back really to pitching from the first one. Something didn't feel right. They went in and took a closer look, and they went back in and fixed it. So it wasn't like there was wear and tear after the first one and damage done again, and they repaired that.
Yeah, he missed 3 whole seasons. He missed 18, 19, and 20. He didn't pitch at all. Picks up another strikeout right there.
Back-to-back strikeouts of Santander and Mountcastle.
Yeah, he got Santander on an elevated cutter. We'll take a look at this one right here. That's just a really good curveball. 82 miles an hour in the zone and towards the bottom of it and gone. And one concern I had for Cole Reagans, and I think the Royals had the same concern, is you go back and look, the most innings he's ever thrown was last year in 2023. When you combine what he did in the minor leagues and what he did at the big league level, only 124 innings. He's at 190 this year, so he's about 65 more innings pitched than he ever has in his career. But the way he finished in the month of September, he is showing no signs of being tired.
Pitching now to Adley Rutschman. Rutschman struck out swinging in the second. Lazy fly ball to left. Another 1-2-3 inning. Reagans has allowed just 2 base runners. The Royals have had only 1 against Corbin Burns. No score after 4. Welcome back to the 2024 Wild Card Series presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Get internet how you want it. MLB celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month by recognizing contributions made to our game by the Latino baseball community. Follow at Los Mayores and at MLB. Corbin Burns continues to fire strikes. First pitch of the 5th inning fouled away by Yuli Gurriel, who struck out his first time up. 41 pitches, 31 strikes. He gave up a bloop hit on the 2nd pitch of the game to Mike Massey, and that's it. He's retired 12 in a row since.
Yeah, and as a starting pitcher, you don't mind early contact. You know the teams are going to swing early. So if you make a quality pitch, what does that do? That keeps your pitch count down, allows you to work it deeper in the ball games. And that's what both of these pitchers are doing. That looks like the first 2-seamer of the day I've seen from Corbin Burns. A 97-mile-an-hour sinker. It's a pitch he doesn't throw very often. But again, it is a pitch he will use inside to the right-handed hitters to speed those bats up to get to those off-speed pitches on the outside part.
But it's the same tunnel as his cutter. I mean, he threw the sinker on the outside part of the plate. I mean, as a hitter, right-handed batter, how are you going to be able to tell if the fastball is going to cut to the left or sink to the right?
I think if you face Corbin Burns, you get your toes up on the plate, and you make him throw 2-seamers if you're right-handed on the inside part of the plate. But I would look away off of Corbin Burns.
There's some good contact and a hit. Single into center. And a leadoff hit for the veteran Gurriel.
Yeah, one of the few spots Corbin Burns has missed so far today. Trying to get this little cut on the outside part of the plate, but watch where it is. I mean, it never gets there. That's almost that bullet spin cutter. You see how that ball had no right to left in it at all? It just kind of set right in the heart of the plate and spun, and that's where Uriel likes it. Right towards the bottom of the zone, and he quickly turns this one around.
Uriel playing in his 87th career postseason game, by far the most on either team. Melendez line to first, caught by Mountcastle on a double play. Snared it in foul ground, right by the bag. He was holding Gurriel on, and some good fortune for the O's. 2 outs and the bases now empty.
Well, look at the reacts too. Mountcastle being able to dive, perfect spot. I mean, be able to dive towards the bag. I mean, you couldn't plant it any more perfectly, because it wasn't even the Gurriel's off that far. It's just the location, the read, the grab, and then the ultimate finish to get this double play just when it seemed like the Royals had something going.
Yeah, Mountcastle, I'll tell you, he's a guy that was drafted as a shortstop out of high school, moved over to third, eventually to the outfield, but has found a home with the Baltimore Orioles over at first base, and he plays a Gold Glove caliber first base.
That brought the crowd to life. Foul ball off to the right, off the bat of Tommy Pham. Mountcastle, one of those Orioles who missed time due to injury, returned late in the regular season. Brandon Hyde really optimistic now that it's just about the full complement of position players back. They are still without a couple of their key starting pitchers in this postseason.
Yeah, I think the big loss was Grayson Rodriguez, and the Orioles were hoping Grayson Rodriguez would make his way back after a lat injury, and just ran out of time. Just ran out of time.
Nasty pitch, just above the knees, outer third, and many of the fans on their feet now for Corbin Burns. Pham didn't chase that one. He got in to 23 games with Kansas City after he came over in late August. As Jess said earlier, hit leadoff frequently. Swings and misses. A classic pitcher's duel in Game 1 of this American League Wild Card Series from Baltimore. Cal Ripken Jr. in attendance, part of the Orioles ownership group now. Your team, your players, your home for postseason baseball. Get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app today. Expect the Iron Man to be here.
The Iron Man
be here every day
with his wife Laura.
Colton Cowser dribbled one down to first. Handled all by himself by Yuli Gurriel.
There he is. Oriole Park at Camden Yards, where Cal Ripken Jr. played shortstop every day. 2,600 plus games every day. How about that? Think about that.
Part of that new ownership group, led by David Rubenstein and a very impressive group of fellow owners. Ball one taken inside by Ramon Urias, and that'll be interesting. There'll be a test for them in the offseason, this ownership group, with Burns and Santander heading to free agency.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see, you know, if the Orioles want to keep Corbin Burns. Obviously, he's going to be the top free agent pitcher on the market, and probably looking at one of those, I would think, giant contracts, you know, probably one of those 7-year contracts, 200-something million, I would think. And Anthony Santander, in a walk year, has obviously had a career year with 44 home runs.
Back-to-back in the postseason for the first time since the late 90s. They haven't been to the World Series since 1983. Brandon Hyde in his 6th year. They stuck with him through some tough years. They knew they were just in the beginning of their rebuilding process. That's about as good as a pitch can be. Reagan's knee-high inside corner. And a strike on Urias.
Yeah, Reagan's just keeps shoving this high-velocity fastball right to the inside part of the plate on these right-handers.
Well framed by Salvi Perez, 5 times a Gold Glove winning catcher.
Talked about the Royals getting on the plate. O's need to back off. They're getting jammed on that inside fastball, and they want nothing to do with it. You see these right-handed batters starting to slowly creep off as the at-bat goes on.
And as a hitter for the Orioles, you want to get yourself in plus counts where maybe you can sit on a certain pitch in a certain location, or maybe in these 0-0 counts, go up there and look for the fastball on the inside part of the plate and try to get the barrel to it.
Flips the bat at the ball on the run. This played by Melendez in left center field. He overran it, and Urias is into second base.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened here. And it was a really good pitch by Reagan. Looked like a changeup after a fastball on the inside part of the plate. And Ramon Urias just kind of goes out and just circles this ball on the outside part of the plate because he gets his body out in front of it. But watch him keep his hands back. There's a good look at the changeup, but it's elevated enough where he can go out there and he literally just throws the bat at it. He was so full. And Melendez comes in. This ball's hooking back from whence he came, and what he did, he overran it, the ball hooking back, and it drops in. Should have been an out, but instead it is a stand-up double for Ramon Urias.
Yeah, game being pitched like this one is, that could be a very key defensive mistake. Scored a double. Cedric Mullins trying to dump one in center, and he does. The runner had to hold to see if the ball would be caught. So Urias on to third as it was played back in by Isbell. And Cedric Mullins, who came into today 0 for 12 in his postseason career, is 2 for 2.
Well, and I love the at-bats that you're now seeing this O's team start to make. Literally just smaller swings. Look at Cedric Mullins. This is 60% swing. Literally just finding the ball. We've seen that pitch be able to do so much, especially against the left side. Mullins just finds grass. Another hit for the Orioles.
Yeah, and this is where you got to be big in the postseason, right? When you get a runner at third base, less than 2 out, you don't need a base hit. If you're the Orioles, you'd love to have one, but just pushing a ball deep enough to the outfield will net the first run of the game. And how important it is for the Orioles to score first. When the Orioles score first, they are 67-17 on the year.
Here's James McCann with a great chance to get the Orioles first on the board this afternoon. 1 out, runners at the corners, no score, 5th inning. And McCann swings and misses at a changeup. He struck out his first time up. The Orioles batting with runners at the corners. A look down to Tony Mansolino, their third base coach. Royals back at double play depth. The outfield around toward right for McCann.
Yeah, I think if you're a pitcher, you're always thinking ground ball double play, especially with the infield back in these situations. But now, once you get to 2 strikes and 0-2 count, Cole Reagan's got one thing on his mind. He is thinking strikeouts, and he needs a big one here.
And he gets it on a nifty breaking ball. So McCann strikes out for the 2nd time. And that's 6 Ks today for Cole Reagans.
Boy, that is going to work right there. I'm talking about 3 pitches and he is done with James McCann. It's that knuckle curve. And look where he starts. That thing just bottoms out. Stayed in the zone a long time and then fell out right at the end. 6th strikeout of the day for Cole Reagans through 4 2/3.
2nd in the American League behind Tarek Skubal of Detroit in strikeouts with his 223, 5 behind Skubal. Now it's up to Henderson to deliver for Baltimore, and he takes a strike. He's 0 for 2. He works off the third base end of the rubber and fires high. Those 223 Ks for the lefty in the regular season, 3rd most in a single season in Royals history. Only Dennis Leonard 244 way back in 1977, and Zach Greinke in 2009 with 242 with a higher total. That one's just outside. Fouled out of play to the left, and it's 2-2.
See, that's one of those situations, yes, I'm talking about. 2 balls and 1 strike. If you're Gunnar Henderson, you had to be sitting on a fastball, and you don't want to be late, right? You don't want to miss it. And he gets a fastball hard to plate and just a little bit tardy on it. And now with 2 strikes, you have no idea what's coming. That's when you got to just sit back and play defense almost now.
He's in between.
Just try to put a barrel on it.
Both his outs have come. Cutter and then the slider.
Swing and a Reagan's back-to-back strikeouts of McCann and Henderson after the defense helped put him in the jam.
Yeah, that's getting it done right there. I tell you what, runners on first and third, gets McCann and then punches out Gunnar Henderson, and the Royals are off the field and we are scoreless.
Game 2 of each wild card series tomorrow. Tigers and Astros 2:30 on ABC. We'll be back here in Baltimore 4:30 Eastern on ESPN, followed by the Mets and the Brewers at 7:30. Corbin Burns starts the inning with a breaking ball to Kyle Isbell. Of course, all the action available on the ESPN app, so you won't have to miss a pitch regardless of where you are, what you're doing. Chopped foul behind home plate. Isbell, the number 8 hitter, leading off for Kansas City. They've had just 2 base runners, a couple of hits. Both singles, both leading off innings. Burns has faced just 1 more than the minimum through 5. No score in the 6th. And a routine fly for Cedric Mullins.
Well, we talked about Corbin Burns, and we talked about how good he is with the cutter. It's one of the best cutters, if not the best cutter in all of baseball. I tell you what, he has used it today. If you watch it, every now and then he'll get that bullet spin to it, but he's able to backdoor it to the left. There's what he wants to. I mean, watch where James McCann sets up, and then he can get it off the outside part of the plate. And you see velocity, right? You see 96, you go, no way, that's a cutter. That's better than big league average fastball, but he has an elite cutter, and when it explodes right to left like it does right there, that's more of the sweeper. It's an elite pitch for him. And don't forget, I mean, he changed the shape of that. He's been working with it through the month of August and September. In his last start of the regular season against the Yankees, he struck out 9 against the Yankees, all 9 of them on that cut fastball.
Well, he'll throw all of them within 1 at bat. It's almost like it's 2 or 3 different pitches. I mean, that's the beauty. You see the different velocities, the different movements with 1 pitch. And
yeah, he can shape it. You know, he can shape his slider a little bit differently. He'll throw more of a traditional slider, and then he'll throw more of a sweeping slider. You combine that with the cutter and the curveball. Pretty special mix.
Went to just his second 2-0 count of the day with Michael Garcia, who fouled one off to make it 2 balls and a strike. Garcia lined to center in the 3rd inning.
home crowd. 2 inches off the plate. Good spot.
Well, both these pitchers have been throwing so many strikes. I mean, the fans boo when there's a ball, right? I mean, you feel like every pitch they throw is a strike.
First 3-ball count for Burns. I don't think either pitcher has much to complain about when it comes to the strike zone so far.
I think the strike zone's been a little bit bigger than a typical strike zone. That's not a good combination for these hitters against these 2 arms with the arsenal these 2 guys have. That is not a fun day.
Burns, the Cy Young Award winner with Milwaukee back in 2021.
Yeah, what a year he had. 167 innings back in 2021. 234 strikeouts. Only allowed 7 home runs that year. Won the ERA title in 21 as well. 4-time All-Star.
I guess it's indicative of today's baseball. He won the Cy Young with 11 wins.
Yeah,
all those other great numbers you mentioned.
How about this? As efficient as Corbin Burns in and how great he has been in his 4 years as a starter. How about this? Not one complete game. Not one complete game.
Well, there's ball 4. And you know, Matt Quatrero would like to get the running game going if he can.
We love the new place.
Great space for watching games. There were a few concessions.
Hot dog! At least Geico makes it easy to bundle our home and car insurance.
You got any bubble gum? For bundling made easy, get more with Geico.
Strike 1 outside corner. Michael Massey, the top of the order for the 3rd time for Kansas City.
Yeah, the question is, does Garcia take a chance to get in scoring position? 37 bags on the year.
And close play at first. Mentioned the improvement of Burns holding runners. He looked into the dugout after that play as if to ask if there should be a challenge here.
That was a quick move right there. Mountcastle applies the tag, not in time though. Yeah, the key for Corbin Burns and kind of what he's done in the month of September, he's coming set a lot quicker. And anytime you can come set as a pitcher, you want that base runner to just hold and sink into the ground. Hold like he's doing, and then let it go.
Garcia runs. McCann from his knees, not in time. And Garcia has the stolen base. He had 37 in the regular season, 3rd in the American League.
I mean, he can just flat out move. Watch this jump. It's pretty much an average lead, but he had 5 or 6 good steps going towards second base before the ball even got to James McCann.
'41 steals against Burns in the regular season, most in the majors, most since 2019. Jeff?
Yeah, you see the average lead distance by month. Andy Koska from the Baltimore Banner talked about this. In April, Corbin Burns allowed the hitters over 14 feet on their average lead. In September, that was cut down, Sean, below 10. Maikel Garcia, you can see now, has a solid lead at second base.
Massey bounding ball, backhanded by Jordan Westberg on to first. Massey now 1 for 3 in that blue pit that opened the game. So a runner at 3rd with 2 down in a scoreless game in the 6th. Those are the numbers that Jeff just referenced. Some said it was as if Burns really didn't care that much about the base runners.
I don't think he
get
did.
The batters out.
I think early in the year he didn't. Then he began to realize it was a serious problem because guys were really off. It was like a track meet there for a while, so he had to sharpen some things up.
In the hole, base hit, Bobby Witt Jr. drives in the first run of the postseason. Garcia in from 3rd. So fitting that it should be Bobby Witt Jr. to get the Royals first on the board.
How about the adjustments he made? First at bat to second at bat to third at bat. In fact, it was all the same pitch. Cutter away. Speaking of before the game, he's like, this is all that he is going to throw me. It's off the end of the bat, but he understands staying through, and he got a cutter. Ben, you've been talking about that pitch, but he got one more over the plate. We've seen him place that thing away to righties. Finally got the one he could drive.
That was more of the bullet spin that didn't have the right to left in it. How important was the stolen base now?
And that's what Matt Quatrero said. He wants to get the running game going if they can, but the key is you have to get on base. Against Burns, that's hard. They finally got a base runner. And Witt very much a threat to run. 31 steals in the regular season.
By the way, super classic Royals, the way that they just scored that run. They get a walk, stolen base, ground ball to the right side of the field to move the runner over to 3rd, and then a simple base hit to get the runner in.
And Bobby Witt Jr., what, 3rd best in Major League Baseball hitting with runners in scoring position. That's how good he is, and he comes through yet again.
388.
Yeah, that's a pretty good number. And I think Pasquantino is 1st in Major League Baseball. So those 2 guys, when it matters the most and the lights are the brightest and runners in scoring position, they have performed.
Pasquantino 0 for 2 in his return, first time since late August. It was interesting talking to Matt Quatrero about Pasquantino. They're limiting the reps, the swings. You know, he's taking limited batting practice. They're not letting him go to the cage and swing regularly because the doctors, the medical staff, want to limit the wear and tear on that fractured thumb. His hand is still swollen.
Sean, he's not supposed to be back.
Witt takes off running. The pitch, a ball. McCann, a good throw that time. And Witt gunned down trying to steal. He was caught stealing 12 times during the regular season.
Yeah, James McCann, big time right here, just a dart. And look how quick the tag was, and that is super close right there.
They are going to challenge the out call at second base. Bill Miller is the crew chief, whose voice you heard. Bobby Witt Jr. still standing at second base.
Does Bobby Witt Jr. get that oven mitt in there or not? And I tell you what, by the replay we just saw, you talk about super, super close. Gunnar Henderson in front of the bag making the tag. Does the tag get there before the oven mitt does? Can't really tell with that view.
Just needed a longer oven mitt.
There's your tag. Boy, that is close.
This replay review is powered by Zoom.
Well, the call on the field is always the most important one because you got to have 100% evidence to overturn that. And I don't know if I've seen enough yet to overturn this one. This was so close.
The hard thing is, can you tell there? Boy, I think he was safe on that angle. Just hard to tell when the glove, maybe this will be a better look at it, of Westberg gets on the.
Yeah, you can't really tell.
You need an overhead, like over second base, to be able to see exactly.
Need a drone, right?
Yes. He looks safe on that. But is it enough?
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is out. Kansas City has one challenge remaining.
Not enough there to overturn it. Certainly Henderson the tag. Witt caught stealing, but Kansas City has the first run of this game. New York Mets. Quick turnaround for them after the doubleheader yesterday. Managed to get one win from the Braves to make it to the wild card series, and they're in Milwaukee and underway on ESPN. Delighted to have you with us on ESPN2. Royals leading the Orioles now after a run here in the top of the 6th inning. So Cole Reagan's pitching with the lead. Bobby Witt Jr. drove in the run. Jordan Westberg, the leadoff hitter. And then he sends one to left field. Pretty long run for Melendez, and he makes the catch in foul territory. And Westberg is 0 for 3.
They got him on the fastball, and that has been the main key for Cole Reagan. So we talked about it against the righties, and Ben, you talked about this. The fact that this pitch rides the velo, you got the spin rate, and look at Salvador Perez behind the plate. Look at the glove. He wants it up in the zone, and he hits it like a top, being able to get these Orioles hitters off the plate to set up his best pitches, which is the changeup and the slider. But that fastball is what's allowed him to get outs against a tough offense in the Orioles.
Reagan dismissed outside with a changeup. Anthony Santander.
Yeah, and I feel like Reagan's has done it a little bit differently today. It feels like, I mean, typically he throws that fastball about 42% of the time, but it feels like it's been more than that. And typically the changeup about 24% of the time, but I haven't seen a ton of changeups. He keeps doing that right there, and that's shoving that heater right up in the zone into the inside part.
Ben, you're exactly right, Ben. He is at 50% plus fastballs right now and just punishing the Orioles hitters who cannot catch up to him.
Well, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it, right? And he's going to continue down that road, and the command of it. And look, every now and then Cole Reagan can spray it. Like, he came in with 67 walks and 186 innings of work. But so far today, I mean, look at the strikes versus the balls. I mean, he has been, an unbelievable combination of just precision and power to the inside part of the plate.
An all-star for the first time this year. It was a breaking ball swung on and missed by Mountcastle. And their starting pitchers, it's nice to see. Like the old days, their starting pitchers typically go deep into ball games. Not looking to take out a pitcher who's cruising right along, as we sometimes see in today's baseball. Mountcastle took a strike. He's 0 for 2.
Well, I think there's two things going on there, right? You got a couple, 2 or 3 guys in that rotation that can rack up some innings, and they've been there before. Lugo, he's one of the guys that's been there before. Michael Waka's been there before, a long career as well. The other piece of that is the Royals bullpen until the month of September, very average to below average. So as a manager, you sit back and you go, okay, do I have anybody in that bullpen that's better than what I got on the mound right now? Now, in the month of September, they have been really good, but there was a time where Contreras really didn't want to go to his bullpen, and he left his starters out a little bit longer.
Crowd very quiet now here in Baltimore. 1-2 pitch is fouled away by Mountcastle. Orioles have 4 hits. Royals have 3. Fouled out of play to the left. If Mountcastle could extend it, Adley Rutschman would hit next. Seventh pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Chopped foul. Not only the starters pitch a lot of innings, but they pitched very well. They had a starter's ERA of 3.55. Best for the Royals since 1985 when they won the World Series. Scored her down the first base line, foul. Uriel was racing over, trying to keep it fair and perhaps get the easy out.
Yeah, pretty good at bat going by Mountcastle here. He has seen just a little bit of everything. The changeup, the cutter, the changeup, or the fastball on the inside part of the plate. When you get down to Cole Reagan's 1 ball, 2 strikes, you're just hoping for a mistake if you're standing in the batter's box.
5 straight foul balls. Mountcastle missed about a month and a half with a wrist sprain. He strikes out swinging on the pitch way out of the strike zone. And Reagan's continues to dominate. Another 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, that's the changeup right there, folks. We told you about this. The second best swing and miss pitch in all of baseball.
Well, the October sports calendar is jam-packed. Saturday on ABC, number 5, Georgia hosts Auburn at 3:30. Saturday night, UFC 307 main card begins at 10 Eastern pay-per-view. Saints and Chiefs on Monday Night Football. Tuesday, opening night for the NHL, a triple header on ESPN, including the defending champion Florida Panthers. They'll raise the Stanley Cup banner against Boston in the middle game of our triple header. Vinny Pasquantino at the plate. He was there when Bobby Witt Jr. was thrown out trying to steal, ending the 6th inning. 0 for 2, a strikeout, his last time up. Bobby Witt Jr. drove in Mikel Garcia, the only run of this game, last inning. Garcia walked, the only walk given up by Burns. Routine fly, shallow right for Anthony Santander, 1 out. Let's take a look at today's active play of the game, brought to you by Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card.
Royals got a little old school. Mikel Garcia, who got on a walk, steals at second base, gets moved over to third on a ground ball. Of course, yes, Bobby Witt Jr. hits him in. That is it. We've got 1 run. It's the Royals leading this one, and they were doing it a little bit old school.
What is it about a walk, huh? Corbin Burns has walked 1 today, and that 1 scored.
Perez fouls 1 away. These are 2 teams built completely differently. The Orioles, 48% of their runs for the year come on home run balls. The Royals, just 36%. And that's second lowest in baseball, behind only Washington. Yeah, they get on base, they get you over, they steal bases, and they get them in.
I was surprised they threw to Witt, to be honest. Like, I thought, okay, you got first base, second base open, 2 outs. Vinny Pasquantino, as good as he's been, he hasn't been in the lineup. He hasn't been able to hit.
Bounding ball, base hit. Salvador Perez. The only player left from when these 2 teams met in the postseason in 2014.
Yeah, you want to talk about plate coverage. Yeah. I mean, he can go out there and just smoke it. He just turns around. This breaking ball's up. It's a hanging breaking ball up. Urias doing all he can do to get to that one. Couldn't quite get to it. But the Royals, to your point, they do it a different way. They don't walk very much. 3rd fewest walks in baseball, but they're the 2nd hardest team to strike out in all of Major League Baseball. The Padres are the hardest team to strike out, but the Royals just don't strike out very much.
And part of that is they go up there swinging. They don't get a lot of deep counts.
They swing, and I tell you what they will do, and I've noticed it today, with 2 strikes, they will shorten their stroke a little bit, and they just really work on it. In a time where we worry about blowing the ball out of the ballpark, this is a team that's not afraid to shorten up with 2 strikes and just try to put a ball in play, and it's worked for them this year.
In the hole, gobbled up by Urias to Westburn to Mountcastle. 5-4-3, it ends the inning.
Well, the Orioles hadn't turned many double plays this year, the 3rd fewest in baseball, but this is tailor-made right here. Corbin Burns makes a really good pitch around the outside part of the plate. A little 5-4-3 double play, and a good finish by Westburg on the back end.
High drama in Houston. Tigers leading 3-1. Jason Hayward up, bases loaded, X right on the screws.
Yeah, right to the first baseman, Spencer Torkelson on the changeup. What a pitch from Bo Brisky. What a job coming in and cleaning things up there in the 9th inning.
6 scoreless from Tarek Skubal. Sean, the Tigers take game 1.
All right, gentlemen, and a big surprise here. As Cole Reagans is out, he's cruised right along through 6 innings. He's thrown only 80 pitches.
Yeah, he looks like he's not too happy about being taken out of the ball game, and I don't blame him. 80 pitches, 6 innings, only 4 hits, no run, didn't walk a batter, and punched out 8.
And we just talked about how they take their starters deep into the games. Only Seattle got more innings from their starters. Reagans threw at least 100 pitches in a game 15 times in the regular season, 3rd most in the major leagues, but he's out. And Sam Long is in, the lefty. I bet the Orioles are very happy to see Reagans go. Adley Rutschman.
Sam Long, 4-pitch mix, fastball, slider, curveball, and a split finger fastball. Fastball's going to average about 94.
But I'm surprised with this move because Sam, as good as he was earlier in the year, in fact, he had a 2.25 ERA at the end of August. He struggled in September.
We're told that Reagans is having some left calf cramps. That's a big blow for the Royals. They hope the bullpen can pick up where he left off. You see that so often. Postseason play, something out of the ordinary happens. You know, he was just cruising right along, didn't look like there's anything wrong. This is the kind of thing that can completely change a game.
Absolutely, we've seen it before.
They're not the kind of team that yanks a guy after 6 scoreless innings and just 80 pitches. Unless there's a reason, and there is. Pop up, shallow center. Isbell started back for just an instant. Makes the catch. Rutschman 0 for 3. Be a part of history by helping to select 2024 All MLB Team presented by MGM Rewards. Vote today for the players you believe had the best performances this season. Terms and conditions apply. See MLB.com/AllMLB for details. Several players on these 2 teams merit all MLB consideration. Colton Cowser takes a ball low and away. He has one of the very few hits in this game, a single to right back in the 2nd inning. Grounded out last time up. That should be a routine play for Isbell. 2 down. Long, 29 years old, got into 43 games this year for Kansas City. 3-3. He had a save and a nice 3.16 earned run average.
He loves those breaking balls. Ben talked about the 4-pitch mix, but it's the slider and the curveball he'll lean on almost 60% of the time, those 2 pitches.
He's been around. Breaking ball down and in on Arias. He's pitched to the big leagues for San Francisco, Oakland, and now Kansas City. He's also been to the Tampa Bay and White Sox organizations. Arias had a double on a ball misplayed in left center by the left fielder, MJ Melendez. Wound up at 3rd base, and Reagans got out of a 1st and 3rd. 1-out jam. Ground ball to short. Witt with a terrific arm. Didn't need all of it. Just a 10-pitch inning for Sam Long. As we said, go to the bullpen. After 7 in Baltimore, 1-0 Royals. Welcome back to the 2024 Wild Card Series presented by T-Mobile 5G home internet and internet how you want it. MJ Melendez, high fly ball for the 1st out of the 8th inning. He's 0 for 3. Corbin Burns still out there. He's up to 80 pitches, which is the number in which Reagan's left with the cramps.
And he's trying to, there's Keegan Aiken starting to get heated up in that Oriole bullpen. Trying to do something he hadn't done all year long, Corbin Burns. That's collect 2 outs into the 8th inning. 7 1/3 was his longest outing of the year. That was against the Marlins back on July the 25th.
Longest of his postseason career is 7 innings. Pham pulls one down to third, gobbled up by Ramon Arias. Pham 0 for 3, 2 quick outs for Burns. Here in the 8th, well, you know, Brandon Hyde would like to stay away from the bullpen if at all possible. .531 earned run average in September, and questions as we enter this postseason about who the closer is even going to be.
It almost feels like it's going to be closer by committee depending on the situation of the ball game and the matchups that are out there.
Hit hard but caught. Kyle Isbell out on a line drive. 5-pitch inning for Burns. Orioles running out of time on their home field in Baltimore. About that time, isn't it? Coming up on 6 o'clock here in the East. Well under 2 hours in this beautifully pitched game to get to the bottom of the 8th. And the new pitcher for Kansas City is Chris Bubich. Another lefty. 3 straight, which isn't a surprise against this left-handed hitting heavy, talented Orioles lineup.
Yeah, 5-pitch mix for Bubich. 4-seam fastball, slider, changeup. He'll throw an occasional sinking fastball.
It's an off-speed pitch in the dirt away from Cedric Mullins. He's had a good day. 2 for 2. A double and a single after he entered 0 for 12 in his postseason career. Not a lot of postseason experience on this Orioles team. Swing and a miss. They made the playoffs last year, first time since 2016, and then they got swept by Texas in 3 games, so not a lot of experience.
That's the slider back-to-back from Bubich. That's the pitch he's going to lean a whole lot on. Hitters just hit a $179 against it. I don't think there was a hotter arm. You look at his numbers since September 3rd, 10 straight without allowing an earned run to close out the year, 139 batting average against those final 10 appearances for him. So this is a good arm coming in the 8th.
His pitch fouled away. He did not open the season on the active roster. Missed the first 90 games coming back from Tommy John surgery, which shortened his 2023 season. Just 3 games. In the air, center field. Room for Isbell. Very good defensive center fielder. Catch game 2 of each wildcard series tomorrow. We'll be back here in Baltimore at 4:30 Eastern on ESPN. Tigers, Astros preceding that on ABC at 2:30. Tigers a winner today. Tomorrow night it's Mets at the Brewers at 7:30. The Padres hosting the Braves at 8:30 on ESPN2. Full day of baseball. All available on the ESPN app. James McCann called back. He had struck out twice. There's Emmanuel Rivera, the pinch hitter. There's a visit at the mound. Brian Sweeney, the pitching coach, races out there.
Yeah, Rivera was picked up by the Orioles only because of a glove. And when Arias went down and Westberg went down, they needed somebody to go play third base. They didn't think he was going to have the offensive production that he has had, but he has been really solid for the Orioles. Matter of fact, hit a couple homers in the final series of the year against the Twins, a 5-for-7 series, couple of homers, drove in 4. So he's been a pleasant surprise for the Orioles from an offensive standpoint.
Was in the World Series with Arizona. Those pitchers have retired 9 in a row so far. 4 up and 4 down against the bullpen along, and Bubich. Bubich fires a strike. One nothing. Kansas City. They got a run in the 6th. Just inside from Bubich.
Well, we talked about taking advantage of your opportunities. The Royals did that with Bobby Witt Jr. Got a big base hit, runners in score position. I'm going to take you back to the 5th inning. The Orioles had 1st and 3rd, only 1 out, and all of a sudden Cole Reagans grabbed the different gear and back-to-back strikeouts of McCann and Henderson to get out of that jam. And that's kind of been the difference in the ballgame. The Orioles had an opportunity to score a run without a base hit, couldn't get it done. Reagans was just better. And then the superstar, Bobby Witt Jr., comes up big with 2 outs.
Foul ball by Rivera. Got into all 5 games of the World Series with Arizona last year. The lack of postseason experience. He has 13 games in the postseason. No other Oriole position player with more than 3 prior to today. Routine chopper to Bobby Witt Jr. Rivera retired. 2 down in the 8th inning. Still 1-0 Kansas City. Tonight 8:30 on ESPN. Manny Machado and the Padres hosting the Braves. Do you think tough spot there for the Braves? But Jess, you and I were in Tampa Bay last year. We say, wow, this is tough for Texas.
That's right.
They thought they were going to win the division, get a bye. They had to go from Seattle all the way down to Tampa Bay.
It worked out pretty good.
It worked out going pretty well.
Yeah, what a crazy year it was last year, right? I mean, 2 wild card teams. And Texas, remember, was a below 500 team throughout the regular season on the road. They go into Tampa, they sweep the Rays, they come into Baltimore, Texas beats Baltimore too and sweeps them too. And so it's about getting hot at the right time. That's what it's about.
Gunnar Henderson, a foul ball, trying to tie it with 1 swing. His 37 home runs, the Orioles' all-time record for a shortstop. And as we saw in a shot of Cal Ripken earlier, they've had some shortstops who can hit one out. They'd like to tie it with 1 swing. And not just last year, but 3 out of the last 4 over the last 2 years World Series participants have come out of this wild card round to open the playoffs. So.
Well, remember last year, I mean, it was the Orioles, the Braves, and the Dodgers all won over 100 games last year, and yet combined in their first round, they won 1 game. Just won 1 game. And so some people say, well, and I think the layoff does have something to do with it. When you're playing well, you want to get rolling. You want to continue. Baseball players are used to playing every day.
That's what Brandon Hyde said before the game with an eye back toward last year.
Right.
They're in the playoffs for the first time in a while. They won 101 games. They just wanted to keep playing. Then you're sitting around for a week. Breaking ball just
Great
missed.
Take. Oh, this is such a good take. We talked about the Bubic slider. He gets this pitch chase left on left. Henderson takes it.
Pitch, not close, ball 4. So a 2-out base runner in the 8th.
And the first walk of the day by Royals pitchers.
Which is ominous because the only walk given up by an Orioles pitcher today resulted in the only run of this game. Corbin Burns walked Michael Garcia with 1 out in the 6th. Garcia stole second and scored on a 2-out single by Bobby Witt Jr.
Lucas Erceg getting heated up in that Royals bullpen. He is their closer.
Now they can take the lead with 1 swing. Baltimore 1 for 7 with men on base. And a ball just high to Westberg, who's 0 for 3. Hit one very deep to the left in the 3rd inning. It's hard to get one out of here to left. Pitch in the dirt and a good block by Salvador Perez.
158 games, Salvador Perez, and he caught over 50% of them. You don't find any catcher in baseball in the game that will do that.
I mean, that is just perfect mechanics right there. You see the forward lean, so you got the forward lean, so the ball takes it off your chest and you kill it right in front of home plate. He's done that once or twice in his career.
Strong at 34, and nice off-speed pitch, change up. Westberg out in front of it.
That's pitching right there. 2-0 count. You think you get the fastball, but instead, Bubic pulls the string with a really good changeup. No such thing as a fastball count anymore in Major League Baseball. Those days are over.
20th pitch of the inning for Bubic. Line drive, base hit over the second base bag. Henderson will stop at second base.
All right, here you go. Orioles so far today, 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
Look at the location of this pitch, too. This is what I love about this Orioles team. When they get going, they understand a situation. Look, it's a changeup off the plate. Just the ability for Westberg, go out and reach. We have not seen that from these hitters. We've seen them chase, but chase with bigger swings. This is a simple swing to get a hit and continue this inning.
The key with that is that changeup was up, right? And Jordan Westberg kind of leans out there and sticks his nose on it.
Urseg, the new pitcher, when we come back. Lucas Urseg, the new pitcher, with the tying run at second and the go-ahead run at first for Baltimore. 1-0 Kansas City, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Urseg, the 4th Kansas City pitcher. Santander hits it weakly to short, and Bobby Witt Jr. throws him out. Urseg comes in to get Kansas City out of the jam. The Royals strand 2. On to the 9th, 1-0 Kansas City. Adley Rutschman, who was the designated hitter, is now catching. Is a high hit for James McCann. So the pitcher would hit the number 9 spot in the batting order. Corbin Burns all the way into the 9th for Baltimore. He's pitched to beauty, but he's on the short end of a 1-0 score right now. Hard hit ball, base hit. First pitch of the inning. Hit through the hole on the left by Michael Garcia, who has scored the only run of this game after he walked, stole second, and scored on a Bobby Witt Jr. hit in the 6th.
Short, simple swing, short, simple approach. This is your 9-hitter. He walked and scored the only run of this game, and his approach here is he knows he's going to get off speed. Just finds this pitch, gets the hole. Now the leadoff batter's on for the Royals.
Corbin Burns has never thrown a complete game in Major League Baseball. Looked like it might happen today, but it won't.
Yeah, season high 8 innings of work. And I tell you what, he was outstanding for the Orioles.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Keegan Aiken, the new pitcher. Michael Massey, first ball swinging, pops it up. And Jordan Westberg has it. Massey retired on 1 pitch. He's 1 for 4. Burns out after 84 pitches, 8 innings plus the longest start by a Baltimore pitcher in the postseason since 1997.
Yeah, efficient too. I mean, he got to work. And there's Keegan Aiken on the year. And I'll tell you what, he's had a solid year for the Orioles. See the 3.32 ERA, but 78 2/3 innings of work. He has struck out 97 and 78 2/3 out of that bullpen for the Orioles.
Including under a 2 ERA since August 15th. When the bullpen has struggled, he was actually one of the few that did a really good job, especially to end the season.
And that gets you the opportunity in a key spot like this, the faith of the manager. Bobby Witt Jr., the hitter, quickly in an 0-2 hole. He bounced a single through the left side to drive in the only run of this game, brought in Garcia. Back in the 6th inning. 1-0 Kansas City in the 9th. Sliced out of play to the right.
Oh, and that was a miss, too. I mean,
yeah,
Bobby Witt Jr. wants that pitch back. That was supposed to be elevated fastball. Instead, it ended up middle against one of the best hitters in all of baseball. Look at where the pitch was supposed to be.
If you talk to hitters, they'll tell you Keegan Aiken's fastball will sneak up on you a little bit. Like he hides it very well. So 94 almost plays like 96 or 97. And the reason why you bring the lefty in this situation is you want to try to keep Garcia over at first base. If you bring a righty in that situation, Sir Anthony Dominguez was up, but he's a little bit slow to home plate. So it's almost a guarantee that Garcia would have stolen second base on Sir Anthony. So you bring in Keegan Aiken and you try to shut down the running game and you hope he gets you through the 9th inning.
First postseason appearance ever for Aiken, 29-year-old lefty. Fouled off the foot of Witt. Mention These two teams haven't played since April, but when they did, the Royals knocked around Keegan Aiken. He made 3 appearances against them. And he gave up 3 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings for an 11.57 ERA. Garcia at first, 1 out. He's being held by Mountcastle. To right field, Santander has room. Just shy of the track. 1 for 4 for Bobby Witt Jr. In the bottom of the 9th, the Orioles have the middle third of their order due. Mountcastle, Rushman, and Cowser. There's Pasquantino 0 for 3. He takes ball 1 up and in. Throw to first by Aiken. Pasquantino just added to the roster this morning. First career postseason action. He missed the last 27 games of the regular season with a fractured thumb that required surgery. Ball outside. Even though he missed all that time, he still had 26 go-ahead runs batted in, which was 4th in the American League. He's trying to give them some insurance here.
Yeah, 97 RBIs when he went down.
Late start by Garcia, and he's still in safely.
How about that? A little delayed steal by Garcia. You don't see that all the time. More of a shuffle, and off he went. Watch Garcia, right-hand side. Shuffle, a little delayed steal right there. Fools Adley Rutschman a little bit. Fooled Gunnar Henderson as well.
Great slide at the back of the bag, too. I mean, this is to avoid because it doesn't. Rutschman gets rid of this quickly.
The safe call at second base.
Great call.
Yeah, Orioles are going to challenge this, I believe.
I don't think they're going to win it based on the replay we just saw.
Didn't look like it. Well, that was a nice. That'd be the 2nd stolen base if it holds up for Garcia in this ball game alone. So that'll bring him to 39 on the year.
Well, you can't take it with you. The replay review powered by Zoom.
Yeah, he's in there.
His hand stayed on the bag.
Yeah, it looked like to me he got it in there.
And held on.
Yeah, perfectly executed delayed steal right there. And if you go back and look.
The call on the field is confirmed. The runner is safe. Baltimore has 1 remaining challenge.
He fooled Adley Rutschman a little bit because on the replay you can see Adley Rutschman framing that ball for the umpire. He's trying to get that strike call, and that little bit of a frame holding that ball there was enough time for Garcia to get to second base.
So Garcia, his first full season in the majors, having a major impact here today. In scoring position, another run would be huge for the Royals. Pasquantino took a ball low. He had 360 with runners in scoring position.
His 97 RBIs on the season, 57 of them came with runners in scoring position.
Pulls 1 foul. And that was another big difference this year. We're talking about the reason for improvement for Kansas City. Last year among the worst in baseball, runners in scoring position, making productive outs, getting runners over. And that has been the focus from the beginning of spring training for Matt Petrero and his staff. Aiken looks at Garcia and misses low and away. So Pasquantino walks. 2 Royals base runners with 2 outs. And the great veteran Salvi Perez in the batter's box, but he might have to wait for a moment as Brandon Hyde is on his way back to the mound. Likely to summon a right-handed pitcher. face Perez. So we'll step aside. We're in the top of the ninth. Kansas City trying to add to a 1-0 lead in Baltimore. That's 1 week from tonight. The NHL season gets underway with a triple header on ESPN. Here's Sir Anthony Dominguez, who for most of the late season was their closer, but he struggled enough lately that there's some question about that as we go forward. Obviously not a save situation, just trying to keep it a 1-run deficit.
Yeah, he's been pretty good in save situations. He's got 11 saves on the year. 10 have come with the Orioles, 10 for 11 in save opportunities with the Orioles, but he has given up some runs in non-saves type situations. This is a big opportunity here. He's got to find a way to stack a 0 right here and get this final out and give this Oriole offense a chance.
Perez, first ball swinging, lines one foul.
Big arm from Sir Anthony. Fastball is going to average right in 98. He'll show you 100 every now and then. Slider, sinking fastball from time to time, and an occasional changeup.
Perez 1 for 3. He fouls one at home plate. He singled and was doubled up. He's checking on his fellow catcher, Adley Rutschman. Dominguez came over from Philadelphia in a trade in late July. Craig Kimbrell was the closer. He struggled sufficiently that they let him go late in the year.
No, that slider's in the back pocket. 2 fastballs to start Salvi. Salvi will chase that slider away. That's been the best pitch of Dominguez.
Just make sure you get it out of the zone, right? Don't leave that slider over the plate.
Swing and a miss. And a pitch way off the plate. Perez strikes out. The Royals strand 2. Last call for Baltimore. Meat of the order coming up. They're down 1-0. Former Royal Ryan O'Hearn is going to pinch hit to start the bottom of the ninth for Baltimore. They're down 1-0. He's hitting for Ryan Mountcastle. Brandon Hyde has a left-handed batter up against the right-handed pitcher Urseg. Garrett Hampson has taken over in left field for MJ Melendez. Melendez still a work in progress as an outfielder, inverted catcher. A miscue earlier. So here's O'Hearn. The 264 regular season. Urseg misses outside. Urseg came into a jam last inning, got Santander to ground out to end the 8th and strand 2.
And O'Hearn has been hot lately. 8 for his last 20 with a couple of long balls.
Slices one back to the screen. Rutschman on deck, and then Colton Cowser. Urseg, after 6 innings from the starter Reagans of scoreless baseball, drifts one outside. Long pitched an inning. Bubic 2/3 of an inning. And now Urseg came over in a trade from Oakland at the deadline. This is inside with a fastball.
You can always tell when O'Hearn is locked in because he doesn't chase. Taking 2 close pitches, first one away, that last one in off the plate to get one over the plate he can hit.
Swing and a miss. Urseg started in the Milwaukee organization. He was a position player and then transitioned to pitching in 2021.
That is a dive bomb changeup right there. Could have been called and wasn't it? We have seen that one called several times today.
It's been a strike all day long, and Matt Potrero wondered where that missed. 99, apparently just inside, but a strike all day today.
Yeah, Perez tries to steal this one. He yanks it back.
So a leadoff walk. And now Rutschman. Ball 1 outside. He's had a miserable second half. He'd forget about almost all of that if he could get into one right here. 1-0 Kansas City. We're in the ninth. The lead man on for Baltimore. Ball 2. Low and away with a changeup. If you're worried, if you're a Royals fan, about the game-ending home run, not likely with Ersig's recent track record, nearly 40 innings since the last one, and now Perez is going to go out to the mound and chat with him.
Well, this if you're Adley Rutschman in this situation, right? Patiently aggressive. 2-0 count, nobody out, runner at first base. Hunt a certain pitch in a certain quadrant, and if you get that pitch, get your A swing off.
Ersig comes set. Short lead for O'Hearn, and a pitch 100 miles an hour. Take it right down the middle by Rutschman. Big swing and a foul. Back to the screen.
Ersig dialing it up. We've seen 2 now, 4 seams in a row. That's a pitch he doesn't throw a whole lot, but he's giving it to Adley right now. Back to back, 100 miles an hour.
Fastball, changeup, then back-to-back 4 seamers. Watch out for the changeup here. Don't want it in the zone. Try to fade it down and away.
Fouled away was the changeup. Pretty lively changeup at 93, but certainly contrast to the 100-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Things to say 7 miles an hour is still right on target. It's just hard to say. Big league average fastball is 94, and you're throwing a 93-mile-an-hour changeup.
Rutschman, the #1 overall pick in the 2019 draft, already a star. Strike 3 called. That time they get the borderline pitch. That looked a little bit low, and Rutschman didn't like it. It says so to Ryan Addington on the way back to the Orioles dugout.
Yeah, it went right back to the changeup again, and this one was about 1 or 2 inches right below the bottom of the zone, but Perez quickly yanks it up, and he steals that one in a big first out for Ersig.
That's where Salvi Perez is the best. Getting down, look at his knee, look how low. This is a big dude getting underneath the changeup to bring that back up.
Yeah,
one of the best.
If you watch Salvi, and a lot of big league catchers are doing this, right? So they give you the target, and then they drop the glove. And the idea with dropping the glove is they want to work from the ground up because they feel like they can steal a few more pitches, and he definitely stole that one.
Colton Cowser took a ball. He has one of their 5 hits today, and now a strike right down the middle. He singled back in the 2nd inning.
And that's how the Royals want to get Colton Cowser out, is with the changeup. That's the pitch he struggles on the most. He's proven he can hit the fastball. He's been seeing a lot of changeups.
Eston Kjerstad has come out into the on-deck circle. Pop fly, shallow center. Isbell, routine catch. And the Royals are 1 out away from victory. And the Orioles looking at 9 straight postseason losses. A stretch that started against the Royals back in 2014. Here's Kjerstad batting for Ramon Urias. Got a left-handed hitter up there. Brian Sweeney's going to go out to chat with Lucas Ersig on the scouting report.
Yeah, we've had, what, 16 of these 3-game series so far in Major League Baseball in the playoffs. The team that wins Game 1 wins the series 88% of the time. That's how important Game 1 is. 14 out of the 16 times, the team that won Game 1 won the series.
So you're saying it's important?
It's very important.
Yeah, 13 of those 14 have been a sweep. So here's Kjerstad trying to keep them alive. Kjerstad swings and misses for strike 1. He just came off the injured list in the middle of September. Was out for a while with a concussion. And the Orioles are down to their final strike. O'Hearn at first after a leadoff walk. He's the tying run at first. Little squirter off the end of the bat, foul wide of third. Erstad was on their playoff roster last year, but did not get into any of the 3 games, all of them defeats against Texas. Erstad throws to first to check on O'Hearn. Anthony Sanders, the first base coach for Baltimore. In the dirt, good block by Perez. No one allowed that tying run to get to second base.
Salvi's been doing this a long time, and again, you mentioned it, just to one knee, and it's tough to block, but when you're athletic like he is, see how he shifted his body, squared his shoulders, keeping that ball right in front of home plate.
Big dude, athletic too. It's a big body. He moves very well.
Erstad just barely clinging to life with a couple of weak foul balls.
Talk about pure pop. I mean, that's what Heston Kjerstad, and this is the reason why he's on the roster in these type of situations, because he can change the game quickly with one swing.
Another 1-2 pitch. He struck him out. Lucas Erceg the save. And 4 Royals pitchers combined on the first postseason shutout on the road in Kansas City Royals history.
Well, he threw that invisible changeup is what that is. This thing's got a lot of action. Watch where it starts, right on the outside edge, and he just works it right off the corner. A swing and a miss, and a big-time pitch by Erceg.
How about the Royals grab it game 1 and the way they did it too? A little old school baseball, get on with a walk, steal him over. Ball hit to the right side, and Bobby Witt Jr., no surprise there that he got the hit, the lone RBI for the Royals. They win this one 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, you look at runners in scoring position today. Orioles 1 for 7 today. The Royals 1 for 3, but that one was a big one.
It's their 5th shutout